Hello everyone, welcome to day 8th of November LeetCode Challenge, and let's walk through today's question. Today's question is unique binary search trees. In the month of September, we have already solved a problem named unique binary search tree 2. It's a harder question on LeetCode. Once you go through today's video and you wish to solve a harder question than this question on the same lines, please give it a shot. It will be a good revision opportunity for you guys. Now let's focus on today's question. Here we are given an integer n and we need to return the total number of structurally unique binary search tree that are possible with n nodes in it starting from 1 up till n. The first example says that the value of n that is given to us is 3, and they have shown all structurally unique possible binary trees containing 3 nodes 1, 2, 3. The first one is this 1, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3 here, and the root here is 3, then we have its left child as 2, then its left child as 1, and here we have 3 as its root, 1 its left child, and 2 is its right child. So in totality there are 5 such unique structurally possible binary search trees, and we need to return its value. Without much ado, let's look at the presentation that I have created for this, and let's get started with the PPT. Unique binary search trees, LeetCode 96. And this was the same example that was specified in the question. The value of n that is given to us is 3, and there are 5 structurally unique BSTs possible. So let's break this problem into smaller steps. Let's start with n equals to 1 up till n equals to 4 and try to devise our algorithm on the basis of the analysis that we are going to perform. So let's get started. In the first case, we are given a single node which is 1. So how many structurally unique binary search trees are possible? It's only 1. We have its null, its left child as null, its right child again as null. Let's proceed ahead where n is given to us is 2. So we need to identify structurally unique possible binary search trees. Let's draw both the possible trees. One would be this. The other one would be this. We have 2 here. 2's left child is 1 and right child is null. So in totality, we can clearly see that 2 such nodes are possible. We have taken 1 in the first case as a root, and in the second case we took 2 as a root. Let's proceed ahead and let's see how we can identify the total number of possible BSTs when n is given to us is 3. So what we are going to do, we will try and identify the possible number of binary trees, BSTs, taking each one of them as root. So in the first case, we will take 1 as a root. So when we take 1 as a root, what will be the left child possibility? The left child possibility is only 1. It could be null because there are no more nodes that are lower than 1. What is the possibility for its right child? For the right child, the possibility is the total number of nodes that are possible using 2 and 3. So using 2 and 3, the total nodes that are, the total trees that are possible, unique trees we are talking about. So we can use the value from the previous computation for the size 2. For the size 2, how many unique BSTs are possible? Only 2. So here we can say that we can use the value computed from the previous algorithm for the total number of trees that are possible using 1 and 2 to compute the total number of trees that are possible using 2 and 3, because structurally there is no difference. 2 and 3 is just 1 higher than 1 and 2, but the possibility remains the same. If 2 nodes are possible using 1 and 2, 2 nodes will be possible using 2 and 3. What we are interested in, we are interested in the possible number of candidates that exist rather than the absolute values. So what is the possibility for this particular tree? The possibility is only 2. So you can draw the trees by yourself using 2 and 3. In the first case, 2 will act as a node, and in the second case, 3 will act as a node. Let's proceed ahead and let's try and calculate the total number of nodes, trees that are possible when 2 is taken as a root. So let's take 2 as a root, and what are the possibility for its left child? For its left child, the number of nodes that exists on its left is only 1. So the total number of trees possible using 1. How many such trees are possible? Let's go back to the first case. 1 tree is possible. So the value here would be 1. Let's look at its right child, the total number of trees that are possible using 3 as a node. What is the size of the total possible candidates here? The size is only 1, and the total number of trees possible using one node is 1. So let's write those up, and what we are going to do, we'll multiply these two contenders together. This would be the answer for the total number of trees that are possible using 2 as a root, and this would turn out to be 1. So this also gives us 1. Let's proceed ahead, and let me just change the color of pen, and let's take magenta this time. Let's try and find out the total number of trees that are possible with 3 as a root. So we are pretty sure that we want to make 3 as a root, and for its right child there is only one such possibility, which is null, because there are no more elements to its right. For its left child, the total number of contenders that we have is 1, 2. So we need to use 2 nodes here, and the size of the total number of contenders that we have here is 2. The total number of trees that are possible using 2 nodes is 2 from the previous analysis. We are already aware of this. So the total possibility would be equal to 2 into 1, because here we can only have null. So the total number of nodes that are possible with 3 as a root turns out to be 2. So let's write this up. For 3 as a root, we have 2 nodes possible. For 1 as a root, we have 1 node possible, and for 1 as a root, we have 2 nodes possible. So let's sum these up. 2 plus 1 plus 2 is 5, and this becomes the answer, which is in sync. Let's proceed ahead with the next iteration, where we take n equals to 4. So let's go step by step, and first of all, let's make 1 as a root. So when we make 1 as a root, what is the possibility for its left child? It is null. What is the possibility for its right child? The total number of trees that are possible using 2, 3, 4. And from the previous calculation, we have already computed the total number of trees that are possible with 3 nodes. The value comes out to be 5. So that means there would be 5 such nodes possible when we compute the total number of trees possible using 2, 3, 4. And let's write this up, that with 1 there are 5 such possibilities. Let's proceed ahead, and let's take 2 as a root. And when we take 2 as a root, how many such possibilities exist for its left child? There is one such possibility, because we have only one node to its left. So the 3 possibilities with one node. And let's talk about its right child, the total number of trees that are possible with 2 nodes, and this time we have 3, 4 as the candidates. The size of the total number of contenders here turns out to be 2, and for 2, how many such possibilities exist? 2 possibilities exist. So let's write 2 here, and for this there is only one such possibility, so the output turns out to be 1 into 2. So the total number of possibilities with 2 as a root turns out to be 2. Let's proceed ahead. Next we have 3. So let's take 3 as a root, and for its left child there are two nodes possible. We have 1 and 2 to its left. So let's take the total number of possibilities with 1, 2, and for its right child we have only one node, which is 4. So T of 4. The size of possible candidates is 1. So we will use the previously computed value, which is 1. So this turns out to be 1, and this turns out to be 2. The total output turns out to be 2 into 1, which gives us 2. Let's proceed ahead. For the last iteration, we have 4 as a root, and the total number of possibilities for its right child is singular, because there are no more elements to its right. The total number of possibilities for its left child turns out to be, we can use 3 nodes, 1, 2, 3, and we have already computed the value 5 for n equals to 3, and let's write 5 here. So 5 into 1 turns out to be 5. So the total number of trees possible with 4 as the root turns out to be 5. Let's sum those up. 5 plus 5 is 10, 2 plus 2 is 4, 10 plus 4 is 14. The answer turns out to be 14. Now can you write the DP algorithm by yourself using the previously computed values that we have calculated so far? Yes, we can do that, and let's quickly walk through the code. I have defined a DP array. I'm using a top-down approach here rather than bottom-up, because right now it's easier to understand. In the question it was specified that the value of n lies up till n equals to 19, so I have taken the DP array or the memoization array of size 20. If my n turns out to be equal to less than equal to 1, I simply return 1 from it. if I've already computed this value in the past, I return that value for whatever is stored at dp of n, and otherwise I go ahead and try and build this dp array. I start with I equals to 1, goes up till I equals to n, and dp of I would be equal to summation of number of possible trees with I minus 1 into number of possible trees with n minus I. So we have used the same analysis while building the presentation. Here as well, we took two possibilities every time, whether it was this particular case or this particular case. Every time we try to search out for the total number of candidates that exist in its left and the total number of candidates that exist in the right, and we are using the same possibilities and treating each ith element as root and finding out the answer for it. Let's try and submit this up. Accepted, 100 times faster. Memory usage is also fairly good. I'm pretty satisfied with this approach. The time complexity of this approach is order of n square. This brings me to the end of today's session. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please don't forget to like, share and subscribe to the channel. Thanks for viewing it. Have a great day ahead and stay tuned for more updates from Coding Decoded. I'll see you tomorrow with another fresh question, but till then, goodbye.